I wonder if you've ever paused just long enough to ask yourself, how tired am I really? You may already know the feeling of exhaustion intimately, but today I want to invite you to slow down long enough to name it. This idea began stirring a while back when someone asked me, what are the symptoms of being overwhelmed? That question lingered because most of us don't stop long enough to notice the signs. We actually just keep going. We keep showing up. We keep performing, keep pushing through. We operate on autopilot. We run on fumes. And we live like rest is a luxury we can't afford. Now, I fully acknowledge that for many, especially single parents or those living in a caregiving season, this might not feel like a choice. When you're the one holding everything together, caring for yourself often falls to the bottom of the list. But for many of us, we simply forget that we have a choice. We've gotten so used to overriding our limits that we no longer even notice them. So today I want to gently hold up a mirror. What are the signs that you might be running on empty? Here are a few subtle and maybe some not so subtle indicators that your soul and your body might be asking for rest. Here are 9 signs that you may be exhausted. These are not all of them, but they sure are a good starting point. First, you find yourself complaining more often. Everything seems to grate on your nerves. Small annoyances feel big. Your concentration slips. Brain fog makes it hard to focus or finish tasks that used to feel easy. Your fuse is shorter. You're more easily irritated, and your reactions feel outsized. Your creativity is drying up. The ideas used to flow, but now it feels like the well is empty, and your numbing habits might be increasing. Now, that's just 9 little ideas. There are more, but whether it's food, scrolling, shopping, or binge watching, you notice yourself reaching for more and more ways to numb out. Now, this isn't diagnostic, like I said. It's really just kind of a compassionate nudge. And even if 1 or 2 of these resonate, it might be time to consider how you're really doing. And while the causes might be more complex, exhaustion is often a major player. So what can you do? Well, of course, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Some of us are navigating deep waters like grief or transition, caring for others, or other major stresses. But for ordinary daily exhaustion, the kind that kind of builds up silently, I want to offer a few gentle and doable practices. Now, notice not all of these address physical tiredness. Mental and emotional fatigue are just as real, and they require their own kind of rest. Here's our rest and refresh list, ideas you can begin to experiment with. And just so you know, I've placed a link in the description box to a free PDF download that contains all the 9 signs that I just listed, as well as these ideas that I'm going to share with you. So I encourage you to check that out and download it now. I've also given you some journal pages in there so you can reflect on what you find out about yourself. So check the description box. Now here's a brief list of ways to rest and refresh. First of all, just take a nap. Take a nap and do it without guilt. It's okay to rest in the middle of the day. Actually, studies have shown that people who pause for any kind of downshifting in the middle of the day, like a nap or some prayer or meditation, actually live longer. It's part of the blue zones. So take a nap without guilt. How about this one? Stroll in beauty. Let nature do what it does best, help restore you. You could practice a breath prayer. You could inhale, "The Lord is my shepherd," and exhale, "I have everything I need." You could talk with a trusted, safe friend. You could let your thoughts and feelings come into the light through some journaling. You could move your body. Sometimes what your mind needs most is to get out of your head. You could pause and take 3 deep breaths and focus especially on an extra long exhale. Blow out through your mouth like a straw, like this. That's a really good way. Breathe in deep and a long, slow exhale. You could listen to calming or uplifting music. You could begin a weekly Sabbath practice. Even a few hours, half a day, could begin to make a difference. You could engage your favorite creative hobby. See if you can get in touch with some laughter or joy or play. You could also practice contemplative prayer. Rest in God's presence without needing any words, nothing. Just rest in God's presence, knowing that you're being held and seen. Now, this is a great list. Remember, I've made it for you so you don't have to memorize them. Just download the PDF, and you don't have to do all of these. Pick the one that strikes you because, again, the goal isn't to perform rest, but to actually receive rest. What kind of rest do you most need right now in body, in mind, or in soul? So here's a pattern you can engage just briefly. Some of the small practices I mentioned, start doing those daily. Pick one, do it daily. If there's a medium-sized practice that you notice, maybe try doing that weekly. And if there's a big one in there, like a Sabbath or some other thing that I mentioned, do that monthly. The thing is don't overwhelm yourself. I always say this if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not trying to overwhelm you. I'm giving you options, and you can see what arises for yourself and then try it on and get the habit going, and then only add on when it makes sense for you to do this. This is a way to craft a more sustainable life. And it blesses not just you, but everyone around you. A rested you is a more present you. A refreshed you is a more joyful you, and a sustained you is a more available you. Your rest is actually an act of service for the sake of others. They will receive a better and more healthy version of you when you're with them, and everybody wins in that case. Well, let me leave you with a few questions to sit with this week. Which symptoms of exhaustion feel most familiar to you right now? Can you pause long enough to acknowledge your weariness? Try saying to your own self, I see you. Acknowledge your own tiredness. And then which one practice from the rest and refresh list can you gently welcome into your life this week? These reflection questions as well will be in that document that you can download. Check out the link below. None of this is going to magically erase your exhaustion. This is all just a starting point. Acknowledging is a beautiful way to notice that it's happening, to acknowledge that it's happening, and then to discern what you might want to do to turn the ship. How about just taking a small turning toward the kind of life that is a little more human, a little more whole, a little more alive, and maybe more present? You are worth the care it takes to rest. You are worth tending to, and others around you will benefit as well. So as always, blessings to you as you make your way. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more content like this, and click the notification bell so you'll know when we drop any new content. I love connecting with intentional people just like you.